Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, I'm in the seat today.
Yeah.
Yep, no longer in the background.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Jordan. I'm a head trainer here at Aries Elite, so ready to be in front of the camera, I guess.
And a Cubs fan.
And a Cubs fan. And we got a big old game today. Big old game. I think this will come out tomorrow, so hopefully we won today.
Or he's crying somewhere.
Or I am curled up in bed in depression.
Just speaking out into existence.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about data and how that ties into Aries Elite Sports Vision and how that impacts athlete performance. So for people that maybe don't know how we do our process and what our training and evaluations look like, how do we use the data to help athletes perform better? What do we do with the data and what does that look like?
A lot. I mean, it's when I started 7 years ago, I keep saying that, but I probably shouldn't. I think everyone knows at this point, right? But when we started, I wanted to make sure that data was integral to what we do. So when I created it, I was like, okay, if I'm an athlete, I want to know how am I doing? Am I getting better? How am I getting better? And how is that like directly correlating to my on-field performance or on-ice performance or on-track performance? And the only way that I could prove that to somebody was to show them their actual objective improvements over time. And so when we were creating it, I wanted to understand what pieces of equipment actually gave me data outputs and what drill did we create that gave us a time to track, and like how do we track all of that, and like I think that's like the biggest thing is like how do we utilize the data that we're gathering for the athlete moving forward.
Kind of to tell a story, right? Just to make sure that we're actually telling the athletes what we actually want them to see and how they are improving in their own sports, their own capacities, like what we're adding value-wise to them.
Yeah, well, I think that's been a really hard process too, though. Like a nightmare with the database and with like.
Well, and we use 1,000 different pieces of technology, and technology breaks, so it's not like we're using in-house stuff yet. So we use other companies and updates and.
Right, and each individual company stores their own data their own way, or they don't even, like some of them don't even store it, they just tell you what the metric was that you got, but then somebody else has to store it, and that's where I'm like, this is a problem, like that I'm using these 4 different pieces, 5 different pieces, 6 different apps, like all that stuff, like it doesn't talk to each other. And so you're not getting the whole picture of how you're doing on a global level. You're just getting it like, okay, I did better in Gust Pro. Like I think that's the thing that we like have been working really hard is to like, how do all of these other things like talk together?
And how does it all correlate to one specific goal too? Like we're working on your different visual systems, but if you do one drill one time, who knows? Like you don't, even if you beat like Synaptech, we use the Synaptech score. If you beat a Synaptech record, what does that even mean? Like congratulations, you beat the record, but it's not telling you anything, and it's not correlating to anything else in our training that we're doing. So making sure that we correlate all the data together is a huge thing right now.
And when we say milliseconds matter, how does that tie into the data that we're collecting? How are we proving that? How are we showing that to our athletes?
Yeah, which, just cool update, we officially have the U.S. patent, or the U.S. trademark on, it's like official, because I had to go under like a 2 or 3 month review, so like I got the email late last week to say, it's yours, so nobody try to copy it. Don't even, I'll be litigious. So that's kind of a cool thing for us to have like a trademark on a thing. I never thought I would, but we probably have another one that we're going to need here in a little bit, so I'm not saying nothing about it, so don't even try to take that.
Can't get it stolen.
Yeah. What was the question?
When we say milliseconds matter,
yeah.
how does that kind of tie into the data that we collect? How do we show that?
Yeah, so that's been another thing that like has been a struggle, is how do we show that? And right now we're not showing it. We know it. We know what the data tells us, but we had Chris develop a bell curve Excel graph from the database that we have to be able to display it when somebody comes in, but it works, kind of works, doesn't work, not as well as I'd like it to. But the big thing is like the EMR is going to be the thing that like we've been working on really hard. And if you've noticed my attention like being pulled, like I'm not always at the office or I'm not always available, like that's what I'm doing, is working on these big hard questions as is the EMR that we're building. So
I mean, the goal is to make it prettier, right? It's to make it understandable. Because like right now it's, you know, again, you talked about the bell curve graph. It's very hit or miss, and it only shows, again, between each drill, like individual drill, where, you know, again, the high score thing. If you're being a high score, we can show you against your general population, but again, what does that mean? And the EMR system is not only going to look really pretty, because, you know, that's what it's for, but it'll tell a little bit more of a story of how you're improving, how you're getting better from where you started, and not just, oh man, my scores are going up and I'm getting better at this, and I can see the difference, but I don't know what I'm getting better at. So EMR is huge.
And just so we all are on the same page, EMR equals electronic medical records, and that's important because it has to be the information and the data and all that stuff that we store has to be HIPAA compliant, and we are building a web-based EMR system that will have all of this on there, so then the users can use it as well and like have access to their own prescriptions and access to all of their own data and their own dashboards and like scheduling and all those things. But that's a whole big complicated and costly thing to undertake. So that's what EMR stands for. If you just hear it just randomly.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was for the first month or so.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
good
that
to know.
CRM, like
It's like,
finance relationship.
Relationship manager, that makes sense. EMR. I don't know anything about medicine.
Yeah. So yeah, since that's how we have to function, like we have to build something that works for us, and like this has been something that I wanted to do for 6 years, 7 years, like because I tried a whole bunch of different systems that were out there, and I was just like, these are just not going to work for what we need.
Can you share an example of a time where the data made a huge difference within an athlete's performance? Maybe whether that they saw the data themselves or they just continued to show up to the office and train consistently, and it was something that we were able to kind of observe on the back end.
I think that's the thing for every client is them understanding that we understand them and their visual and cognitive systems so deeply that they get what we're doing. Oh yeah.
No, I'd agree. I'd say, I think that's also why a lot of the athletes stay.
McKenna was yelling at me saying I had
I was like,
had to
talk
look
to
at
me.
you.
I'm not just staring at her. Yeah.
Or that.
Guys, we have a camera set up today, so it's like, we gotta get used to it,
Yeah.
obviously. But, no, agreed. And I think there's specific athletes in general, like, some of the guys have been training for a very long time. Like, we always mention, and they'll get shout outs on this all the time, I'm sure, but the West brothers and, like, even Asher, they've all grown in their own sport as over time, continuing to get to the next level, continually getting better. And I think they contribute a lot of it sometimes to, you know, being able to see. I know Evan himself loves the training, and he knows that's like, I can see better. Like I can pick things up faster. I can understand what's going on. Now it's just coming down to my physical abilities. Like obviously I have to train those too, but I'm seeing the game really well. I have to physically make sure I'm picking myself up to that speed.
Well, and Evan's an interesting example because Evan actually quit playing hockey. Like he broke his leg, and then he quit playing, and then like he kept training.
Yeah, he kept training.
And
he kept
then,
training his eyes, but not, you know, his body was screwed for a little bit because he was
right. And then he like quit, and he wanted to go to school, and then like as he continued to do training and stuff like that, he then got an opportunity at UNLV to play hockey there, and then they went and beat the #1 team in the country
Yeah, they're
when
one
he
of
was
the
playing, and then they won the
top ranked club team right now. So that's
yeah, and they won the national club last year. Like, I think that's a really cool story of him like consistently pursuing like this thing to help him not even just always on hockey, but also in life and just like staying with it. And I think that's what helped some of his success.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even to speak on just the outside of sports thing is, I mean, he talks about it all the time. Like, we do trainings early in the morning for him. He's on the Pacific Coast. We do his trainings like 6:30, 6:45, and we do them at that time. Because practice schedule's crazy, whatever. But he says it boosts him ready for the day too. Like, it gets him going. It gets his brain going. It's so like, I mean, he's studying to be a lawyer, so he's going through like pretty hard classes, pretty reading intensive classes, and he's activated right away in the morning. He's ready to go, and then he goes, works out and does school, plays hockey, and
Yeah.
I think the training has done a lot of things for even just like your everyday life too,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Evan, comment down below. Is this what they do on
We're gonna send
podcast?
We're gonna send this.
Comment right here and then subscribe and like.
he's gonna absolutely love it. I'd say there's tons of athletes though that would speak to it, and I think once they get in there and train for a little bit and see the results. I mean, we've talked about that. You've talked about the like aha moment where they see it like for the first time. It always happens for somebody at some point, and it could be a month, it could be a year before something big happens. But I mean, whether it's avoiding a crash or picking up somebody or moving out of the way, juking somebody, it's always something. But
What excites you most about the new technology that we're integrating in the different data systems we're adding? As we mentioned, the EMR and even our app. What excites you the most, and how do you see that helping our athletes improve more than they already are currently?
I'm excited for the app.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm excited. It's going to be really big for people just to be able to do something pre-game without having a whole bunch of technology, I think. We've had people tell us that they're in the bathrooms on VR calls. They're like training their VR system, getting prepped up, ready for the game, and it's super cool and super applicable. But that's hard to do for just everyday athletes. So even just having that app ready for 10 minutes before a pre-game, running through that, or even just training in general, like I think that app's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah, I think, gosh, I'm excited for all of it, honestly. Like I think the coolest thing is that I've been able to get it out of here finally. Like, it feels like just like a pressure is lifted off of my head. Like, to get the stuff out of here that I've been building, it feels like I'm just like, so I'm in a toy room and I have thousands and thousands of Legos everywhere, right? Like, and I've been in this toy room by myself, building these cities and these using these Legos, and nobody else can see it. And now it's nice to finally be like, guys, check out what I've been working at. Like, I think that's the cool thing for me, to also be able to visualize the thing that I've wanted to do for so long. That just takes money and time and energy and focus and all those things that I have to push. I have to put all of my resources towards that, because otherwise I'm pulled 1,000 different directions. But I think the app, I think that the coolest thing about the app is that it'll be cross-platform too, which will be, you can do it on your iPhone or an Android. You can do it on your iPad or on a Microsoft Surface. You can do it on your computer, or you can do it on a 55-inch touchscreen. That is going to be, I don't know of another app or program that does that.
I mean, I know we've looked. I haven't found anything either. So.
And then another really cool thing, I think, is that all the information that you're getting on all those individual things, it's just going to go straight into the EMR and link to your profile. So when you go to your login, it'll have, oh, here's how I do on the phone on this specific drill. Because if we're going to compare apples to oranges to bananas, we can't do that. But it'll give you how you did on the banana. It'll give you how you did on the orange. You'll be able to filter out all that stuff too, which I think is super cool. but that's just been a major source of like contention, is like all the information is all over the place, and like now it feels like we're like putting it all together finally to like.
It's finally, the fingers are interlocking.
Yeah.
It's coming together. It's all adding up together at the same point. So
Yeah. Which, if you don't know anything about data and don't care anything about data,
sucks. It sucks.
like it is so hard, and it gets so messy, and like it's like I have to rely on you and Joseph to put in the data points that you're running on the system, to put it in the right way. Otherwise, we have to go back and we have to look through all the data, make sure it's clean, that's a whole other monster that you don't even people don't even think about. If you're not in the space, you don't even think about it. And I went to optometry school. Like I have there's no space in here for where I should be like doing this or doing marketing or doing but I have to because I think that there's some really good stuff within this space. So I didn't know anything about any of this stuff before we started doing it.
Yeah, we're definitely all just figuring everything out at the same time, all together at the same. I mean, there's just random stuff, even the data. I can speak to it because I went through the data for weeks. When we transferred over to the database that we use now, it was weeks, almost probably a month of me sitting at a computer, typing in the numbers, fixing up the data to make sure it was in the right spot, making sure it was the decimal points were in the right spot. If we do a lot of accuracy stuff, so accuracy was either it was a full 3 number or it was a decimal point and 3 numbers, and all of those had to work together. And I'm not an Excel expert, so I couldn't just type it in and figure out how to do that, which, looking back, would have been really nice. And AI wasn't the same as it was now. So, yeah, I remember spending a whole month just going through data. But, the data tells the story. That's the important part. We have to get the data right. And I think that's huge for what separates us from, somebody who's just giving you a product and not telling you the story behind it.
Well, and it separates us from other optometrists too, right? I don't know any other optometrists who are doing anything like this. Yeah. Genuinely, I have no idea of anybody else who is tracking the stuff as obsessively as we are. I don't know of again, I don't know everybody who's out there. There might be other people who are out there doing a really, really good job, but I haven't seen them with my own eyes yet, so I don't know that they exist or not. So,
if you do exist, let us know too. We'd love to talk and figure out.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with it.
Yeah, because we've been working real hard on this all by ourselves in our own little echo chamber, and so maybe we could collaborate on some stuff. That would be fun.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
So